Hi, this is Cass from Aussie Cass Plays, and welcome to my little mini trailer and rule overview for a challenge that I'm going to start here on the channel because I've been hankering for another survival challenge. I've got 2 legacy challenges running at the moment. I love survival gameplay like your Runaway Teen challenge. I did Surviving Strangerville. I decided to rewrite the Island challenge, which I think was originally written for like base game when we didn't have islands, and it was by Simproved. I've rewritten it to change some of the mechanics to take advantage of Sulani because we have islands now. So the idea is the challenge is set on Muapalam, which is the island neighborhood with the volcano. The original island challenge had an evil volcano god in it, so it's basically perfect. I'm going to go through the rules with you guys. They are over at my blog and I will link them in the description for this, so if you want to have a look for yourself or go into more detail, then that is available for you. Obviously you need island living, cottage living, eco lifestyle and seasons would be helpful, mainly because if you want to play with the simple living trait and the power supply stuff you get in eco lifestyle, like the solar panels and that kind of thing, then you need those packs. So the challenge succeeds if you can get Sulani to stage 3 cleanliness. You know how Sulani has those 3 levels of environmental pollution. So you start out at stage 1. Stage 3 is like turtle hatchings and stuff like that. That's the end goal. But you can't have a career, so you have to do it the slow way because the conservationist career is like fast track to cleaning up the world. The challenge fails if all Sims die, which could actually happen in this challenge, like more so than normal. You have to start with a polluted world, so I recommend starting with a new save, or you could use the sort of in-game cheats to reset Sulani to being rubbish if you've already fixed it. I've recommended adding private dwelling to all 3 lots in Muapalam, volcanic activity to all 3 lots in Muapalam. One of them already has it. Off the grid to the lot that doesn't have it, which is the Caldera camp, like the one near the volcano, and adding simple living to all 3 lots. The reason I say do it to all 3 lots is because if you play this for long enough, you could actually expand into multiple households, play them rotationally. I don't know if we'll go that far with this on the channel, but we'll see how we go because I do love this kind of gameplay. You usually have room for 1 extra trait you could add, do what you want. I don't recommend geothermal or natural well because they both give you build discounts and we actually cheat money. Money is not a thing in this challenge. Shells are the currency, which is a very Polynesian island thing, but the currency is being exchanged with one of the deities. So the backstory is Kano, short for volcano. Kano is very angry. He's polluted. He's been driven wild. So what I've said in this is he's fuming. Pollution from the sim world has been creeping into his realm, burning him with its acid touch and driving him slowly to madness. When Sims was ashore in his domain, he lashes out and tries to destroy them, which, I mean, that's fair. Humans create the pollution. He's trying to punish the humans. His wife, the ocean goddess known as Vaya, has retained her sanity and tries to stay his hand. She sees hope that the new Sims may be able to help her restore him to his former state. Start with 2 Sims. The original challenge said start with 2 young adult Sims and recommended that they be a couple. Obviously that's like the easiest scenario because then you can breed more Sims to help you out on the island. I've decided to make it hard for myself and I've made a pair of siblings. So we have a young adult and a teen. Traits and aspirations can be whatever you want. Both Sims start with nothing, no skills, nothing in their inventories. They can look like whatever you want. And you control everyone. This isn't like Asylum Challenge or the Hotel Challenge or any of those ones where you only control one sim, you control everybody. I cheated myself to have 9,999,999 simoleons? I forget, whatever the maximum is. That's what I gave my sims. Because you're exchanging shells for objects and you can just buy them from the catalogue. There is a cheat that I've put in here which came from Lily Parker's blog, which talks about cheats to have the bills be auto-paid and stuff. I've never actually tried that cheat, so I am going to give it a shot because I feel like that would be super handy. Otherwise, I'll just pay them manually. That's fine. The only furniture you should place is a storage chest, the idea being that the Sims have to exchange shells for objects, and that's where they go. I also recommend editing the calendar. I did this in Medieval in the first couple of generations and made every day of the week a public holiday so that my teens and children would never leave the house. They'd just never try and go to school. I don't know if you can do that if you don't have seasons, because I have seasons and I know they put the calendar into base game. I don't know if you can do that or if the calendar just exists to track university work days, that kind of stuff. If you have base game and not seasons, let me know. I'd be interested to know. But if you can, edit the calendar, makes your life a lot easier. Otherwise, just cancel the go to school interaction every day. If they do go to school, it's no big deal. Just bring them home. You have to roll a dice every day between sunrise and midday. That determines what will happen during the day. It's 2d6. if you're using a random number generator, I do actually make this point in the notes here. The results have been curved to account for the fact that if you're rolling 2 6-sided dice, some results are more likely than others. If you just use a random number generator, you've got a 1 in 11 chance of your Sims dying, whereas it's way less than that if you use 2d6. So I really recommend using 2d6. Play on whatever lifespan you like. The original challenge actually recommended disabling aging. I'm probably going to do long lifespan. We'll see how that goes. Your Sims can't have careers or leave the neighborhood. Your Sims can have kids, or there are mechanics through which more Sims will arrive on the island, which are in the sort of dice results table. So I'm obviously relying on that because I have 2 Sims that can't have kids. Otherwise, it's going to be a really weird challenge. There is a toilet block on Muapalam. I've tried removing it by just shift clicking with testing cheats active and clicking destroy object. It does remove it, but the game puts it back. And I don't know how quickly it does that. If you have the tool mod, you may be able to remove it permanently. I don't know. You can just pretend that it's like they've agreed that's the toilet. That's a pile of rocks that they poop behind. You know what I mean? I'm not sure there's a way around it. It's a bit frustrating because obviously when you start a survival challenge, things like needing to go to the toilet, needing somewhere to shower, needing somewhere to sleep, they're like your first 3 things you normally need. Obviously the toilet thing's not an issue. Anyway, I'll go through the dice rolls. This is quite fun. This is fun. There's 2 fun mechanics in this challenge and they existed originally. I've just rewritten them. So if you miss a dice roll, then you lose a sim. Don't forget to roll the dice every dawn, enact the results. Your volcano god will kill one of your Sims if you don't. Now, the modifiers are if the island is at like the middle stage of cleanliness, because it has 3 stages. So stage 1, very polluted. Stage 3, not polluted at all. Stage 2, in the middle. If you're at stage 2, you get a +1 to the dice roll. If you keep playing after you get to stage 2, give yourself a +2, but at that point you've won the challenge, so it's up to you what you want to do there. If you have eco lifestyle and get a green footprint for the neighborhood, that's also a +1 bonus. If you manage to generate an industrial footprint, which you'd probably have to go out of your way to try and do, a lot of fireplaces and fires and petrol-based generation will get it done for you. And subtract 2. So if you're into the chaos style of gameplay, go wild. I will just quickly run through the results. If you have a 0 to 2 result on the dice, you lose a Sim. They die. 3, you get a new lot challenge, so you've been cursed. 4, the volcano god is furious and sends a sickness to one of your Sims, but it's not actually an in-game sickness. You have to cheat away 4 skill points from one of your Sims. Pick one, remove 4 skill points from them. Doesn't have to be in all one category. It just needs to be 4 skill points. If you get a 5, you lose 2 crops, fully grown plants, which in a survival challenge can be a big deal. I've tried to scale it so the worst ones are lower numbers and the best ones are the highest numbers. Number 6 is a fire. So if you have testing cheats active and you shift click on something, I don't know if it has to be on the ground or an object. I think it has to be on the ground. I'm going to test this, but just start a fire. Your Sims can then put it out. That's why I've put it at 6, because 6 is pretty common probability, but it's also something you can work around just by having your Sims like hit play, extinguish. Pretty quick to overcome. That's why I've put it where I have. 7 is neutral. 5 shells washed ashore. That's free money, so it's all right. 8 is 2 seed packets of washed ashore. You can choose any seed packets in the catalogue, which includes the rare packets, although I don't know why you would in a survival challenge, but it also includes the uncommon packet, which has things like tomatoes in it. And because we're playing in Sulani, the only things you're going to be able to forage are pineapple, taro, and coconut, which if you're playing with Simple Living is going to mean your Sims are going to starve to death or be living on those vegetables because they won't have anything else. So you need the seed packets to build up crops, which is why I've put the seed packets in as a pretty common result, and I've made them pretty cheap to buy because you need them for the gameplay. Number 9 is you get a not random, but a skill object that isn't electrical. You can just choose one from the catalogue. So like you could say a guitar washes ashore, or what's it called? The punching bag thing washes ashore, but not a treadmill, because it wouldn't survive the trip. Number 10 is a new Sim. I wanted to make that accessible but not super common to get a new person washing ashore. I've got some rules in here around how to generate that. I've said random traits, aspiration and age. Those are things that were in the original challenge, but I am actually debating changing the age one to be optional. So random traits and aspiration, but then you can make them whatever age you want or need, because you might be like, hey, I want a child, or you might be like in my case, I'm going to have 2 Sims that are related. So if I want the chance of children, I'm going to need the person who washes ashore to be eligible. So I may actually change that. These rules will be changed as I'm going through and playtesting it because I want these to be usable for other people. And if I've set prices too high or things like this age thing I could see causing problems, I may tweak those. 11, one of your Sims gets a new survival talent. So you can give 4,000 aspiration points to a Sim and then spend the points on whatever you want. So they might never need to sleep, or you could save up and get them brave so they're never scared of thunderstorms, or get them storm chaser or whatever. Number 12 is you can get any object from the catalogue. Any one object. Can be electricity based. If you've got eco lifestyle, you could get a solar panel, you could get a wind turbine. Those things will make your life so much easier if you're playing off the grid. That's like boxcars, that's 666, 10 with a +2 modifier or whatever. And then 13 plus, you can remove a negative lot trait. You can choose which one you want to do. Now with crafting and buying, you can use the woodworking table. I've suggested using the Little Miss Sam's more woodworking mod as well. I certainly will be. I mean, aside from anything else that's in my game and I'm not taking it out. Don't craft electrical items is the only restriction I've put on crafting, because where would you get the electronics from, like the copper wire and whatever? You can have any object from the catalogue at any time that does not affect the game. This is there so you can add set dressing. Now, the shell-based currency, I'm not going to go through the price of everything, but I've tried to price it in a sensible way. The idea is that shells get put in the chest and the goddess via the ocean goddess is providing via washing up the objects that the Sims are buying, basically. There are some items that are not in the list. I've given the example of a grand piano, but you could get via a dice roll, like the item that gives you the roll that gives you a skill item. You could choose a grand piano if you want your Sims to have a grand piano on the beach. Go wild. I would personally suggest not getting computers, stereos, and TVs, but I could see that you could get a gramophone, but I haven't provided a price for it. So if there are things on this list or things not on this list that you think I should have put on there, you can just price it accordingly. Take a look at what's there and figure out what it's worth. I will probably have to adjust these prices because some things I may have priced too expensive. I'm not sure. We'll see how we go. Seasonal or starter pack is 1 shell. Medicine I've put in there explicitly because if you don't have a computer, you can't buy medicine. And if you don't have your phone, you can't buy medicine. And if your Sims get rained on, they will get sick and they'll start sneezing and complaining. So I've put that in there as a thing you can buy. So I've got beds, campfires, workbenches, the woodworking crafting table. You're probably going to want that pretty early. Couches, sofas, dining tables, planter boxes, all the stuff you'd expect. Things I've added that weren't in the original challenge, I've put an asterisk next. So shower, sink, bathtub, oven, fridge. There are off-the-grid items you could buy if you don't have electricity. Like if you don't play with Eco Lifestyle or haven't bought it because it's pretty expensive stuff, you can get an off-the-grid fridge. You can get an off-the-grid oven. They do exist in the game. So I've said get those. I mean, it's kind of common sense. Don't buy an electric fridge that your Sims can't use if your Sims can't use it. In a separate list, I've put the pack specific stuff like garden plots, oversized crop seeds, like the Woohoo Party bush that came with Get Together. I've put in chickens, cows, llamas, chicken coops, all of that kind of stuff. There's insect farms in there. And I've also right down the bottom of the list put solar panel, dew collector, the fuel powered generator, the wind turbine, the fabricator, all of that eco lifestyle stuff that you could use to have your Sims craft things for the island. The idea for me is to have the Sims create a little society or a community that's basically self-contained. In my mind, the premise for this challenge is a Bermuda Triangle style rift in time and space or whatever that the Sims fall into, a little bit like Lost, although let's not talk about the end of Lost, but a little bit like Lost, where they just wash up on this island. They've been ripped out of the world they knew, and this is their new world and there's no going back. That's how I imagine this playing out. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here. I haven't read through the whole thing because as you can see from the screenshots, it is huge. There are huge lists of things. They were in the original challenge as well. I've made them even longer. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'm not sure when I'm going to start this, hopefully in the next week or two. If you have any suggestions or feedback, I'd love to hear from you. If you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. Please, please, please. You know the drill. Don't forget to wash your hands and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.